And away we go. It is the nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com, brought to you as always by our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app, Android, iPhone. Get yourself some great, outstanding, delicious Galactic Fried Chicken delivered, or stop into the location in Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15% off. All right, Aaron. Well, yesterday was a big day.
Yeah.
Today was a big day. Tomorrow's going to be a big day.
Yeah.
Sunday might be a big day. Might be some more big days coming next week.
Maybe.
Look, let me tell you this. We are right now, if you are not a member of Bearcat Journal, we are running a 60% off sale this weekend. You're going to want to take advantage of that 60% off sale because there's a lot of good news happening. There's a lot of good news coming.
Seems to be about the right time.
It's about the right time. You get a full year of Bearcat Journal for like $40.
Yeah, if you haven't pulled the trigger yet, now's the time. How often do you do a deal better than 60% off?
Black Friday, we do 75, and that's about it.
There you go.
This is the second best deal we do all year around the draft. And guess what? The Bearcats are third in the country in number of players selected through the first 3 rounds. The only schools with more players selected than the Bearcats through the first 3 rounds, Alabama and Georgia, who just happen to be the only 2 teams to beat Cincinnati in the past 2 seasons. So, yeah, if you were wondering about how legitimate this Cincinnati team was, if you don't know, now you know.
There were definitely some surprises. You had Alec Pierce in the second round, the 21st overall pick in the second round, 53rd overall pick. You had Brian Cook coming off the board in the second round, 30th overall in the second round, 62nd overall pick. And then you had Dez finally going to the Atlanta Falcons. I'm sorry, Brian Cook went to the Chiefs. Desmond Ridder, 10th pick of the third round, 74th pick overall to the Atlanta Falcons. And Myjai Sanders rounds it off at number 100 overall, 36th pick of the third round to the Arizona Cardinals.
Let's start with Dez.
Not what we expected, though, right?
Well, actually, we'll start with Alec because I'm up here in the heart of like Colts country, right?
Yeah, you sure are.
And there were a lot of folks that I know that are in the basketball world that are big Colts fans at this event, and they were all like pumped that they got Alec Pierce. Like that was the guy they wanted to get at wide receiver in this draft. And for me,
he's like an upgraded Brandon Stokely for them, right?
Right. He's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger. Yeah.
Well, and I saw some comps for him on Twitter where people were like, yeah, this is like Jordy Nelson. I'm like, this is not like Jordy Nelson. And then I saw someone compare him to Mike Evans. That's a more fair comparison.
Right.
Mike Evans is a way better comparison for Alec Pierce and all of the things that he brings, intangibles and otherwise, and the actual tangibles, like the jump, I don't think Jordy Nelson's a fair comparison. Jordy Nelson was a flash in the pan with.
Well, we know why he gets compared to Jordy Nelson and Brandon Stokely. I'm just saying, those aren't his comps.
I agree. I think Mike Evans is a far better comp.
Here's the thing I love about a lot of these draft picks. They're going into situations where they are at positions of need. Right, they're not going into places that have like the Colts need wide receivers bad.
Well, now you got Alec on one side, you got Pittman on the other. That's a great. Why do you think Matt Ryan was real quick to be on that? Hey, let's get to work.
Right.
Yeah, because you're in a great situation now. You have an actual receiving core.
Brian Cook going to the Chiefs. Like they need secondary help.
You just took Honey Badger's job.
That's going to be he's going to be a thorn in the side of the orange and black.
And you did see the Kelsey, hey, yo, Cook. Let's go,
brother. Let's get cooking. And then Dez, like, could Dez have found a more perfect situation? He's going in to be an understudy that's like his older brother.
Marcus Mariota?
Yeah, that's one of the comps that's very, very close to Desmond Ridder.
It's a total fair comp in that regard. And I don't. We wanted him to go to Atlanta. I wanted it. I didn't want him to go to Pittsburgh.
No,
I think early on we expected Atlanta to potentially pull the trigger in the first round. Didn't happen. He falls to the third round. They get a great pick in the third round. Some people are calling it the steal of the draft, if they're not calling the Bengals pick of the Michigan safety Dex Hill, I believe, the steal of the draft. This is also being called a huge steal. And how about the fact that we had one quarterback in 2 rounds?
I mean, it's not shocking. Did you see? I think it was Pete Thamel that put up that, like,
has that ever happened?
Teams just don't take quarterbacks in the second round, like, very often.
But has that ever happened that you had one quarterback in 2 rounds?
I don't think so.
I can't imagine if it has. I don't remember. Not in my life.
Right. This was wide receivers and corners, man.
Yeah.
Like, this whole draft was wide receivers and corners. So it's not terribly shocking, I guess. I mean, to see him fall as far as he did was a surprise for sure. But
no pressure, though, right?
What's more important is where you end up.
Yeah. No pressure. And you have a chip. We talked last night about Sauce having a chip on his shoulder by being 1 pick below Stingley.
Right.
You want to talk about a guy who's always had a chip on his shoulder, being a 2-star and finding himself in this conversation to where he's now an NFL quarterback, and to have a situation where he's going to have no pressure to be the starter immediately. You were a 3rd-round pick behind Marcus Mariota. Figure it out, and maybe by the bye week you're ready to take the reins, or whenever you're ready. But once you're ready, he's already said, I'm not leaving until I get you a ring.
I mean, the thing with this situation now is he's even like, there's no pressure if it's a year, like if it's a season
sure.
of learning behind Marcus Mariota. Like, that used to be a good thing in the NFL. Everybody was like, get this guy. Carson Palmer sat a year behind John Kitna.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that used to be a really good thing. And I think it's ideal for Dez to not have that instant pressure of, like, you've got to come in and be the guy from the jump. So I think that's a great spot for him.
Happy for him.
Yeah. Thrilled for him. And then Majay with the Cardinals. I don't know what their pass rush situation is, but everybody in the NFL.
Well, you got J.J. Watt there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got J.J. Watt there. Who better?
But I mean, in terms of depth, like, I don't know, like, what his path to immediate playing time is.
I guess my point is, who better to learn from?
Yeah.
Than
no, you're right.
Arguably the best.
You're right. And, you know, Majay's going to get in there and work. Like, that's always been Majay's thing. Like, I think actually J.J. Watt and Majay will hit it off in that regard. Like, Majay's a guy that doesn't stop moving. Like, constant energy, effort. I think J.J. Watt's going to be like, oh, we're not very much alike off the field, but this guy brings the things that define me as a player.
Yeah,
so I think, like, I think for the 5 guys, they got very advantageous draft slots where there's a clear path to success. And look, if a team takes you in the top 3 rounds, they're expecting you to be a part of their future.
Yeah.
This isn't round 6, round 7, where it's like we're taking flyers and we're filling out the back of our, 53-man roster. This is, we're expecting you to come in and play. We're expecting you to contribute. We're expecting you to produce. And all 5 of those guys have got the ability to do so.
Well, even going back to Brian Cook, because we didn't really talk a whole lot on that. That was one of the things that kept the Chiefs from advancing when the Bengals beat them, is their secondary could not contain the Bengals offense. And so they addressed it. And now you have immediately, you have Brian Cook coming in the second round. That's not to be a guy off the bench.
No, you're coming into play, son.
So there's a very real chance that when the Bengals match up with the Chiefs this season, that you're going to see Brian Cook on the field.
Yeah, for sure. Happy for all those guys, man. They're all
For
good
sure.
dudes. They're
For
all
sure.
good dudes.
And there's definitely, 4, 5 guys, 3, 4, 5 guys that we're going to hear names called tomorrow.
4. I don't know about 5. I think 4 is.
People are starting to flirt with Marcus Brown's name being mentioned tomorrow. With maybe somebody takes a flyer late in the 7th round on a guy like Joel DeBlanco, on a guy like Vinny. I don't know that I see either of those two. If I'm being honest, any of those 3 even.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest,
I think 9 is, and it's still going to be difficult for both Brooks and with Ford, just because it's running back, like it's so volatile. But teams tend to there'll be a run on running backs.
Yeah.
Tomorrow at some point in time.
Once you hear Isaiah Spiller's name mentioned, you know that the run is on.
Right.
No pun
But
intended.
you're definitely going to hear early. You're going to hear Kobe. You're going to hear Beavers.
Yeah.
And then you figure out when Ford and I think eventually Brooks. You're going to hear 9. I think.
I still think there's a real possibility of the Patriots taking Beavers.
I don't rule. I mean, he's perfect for what they do.
Their scheme, absolutely.
So yeah, and he's smart and played a bunch of positions and.
Still hoping that we don't end up seeing one of these guys against a divisional foe for the Bengals for selfish reasons.
Been lucky in avoiding that so far.
Selfish reasons.
Been lucky in avoiding that so far. And Dez going to the ND, that's.
Yeah. Although somebody pointed out that you are going to see a Maje Dez matchup if that.
Well, these guys are all going to be playing
yeah.
That's how it works. So yeah, that's the draft stuff. There were people getting on me tonight, where's the draft show? They wanted us to run it back tonight. I'm like,
I'm working. I had to do some birthday stuff with my brother-in-law, and I have a funeral to go to for my best friend's stepfather tomorrow. So we were not able to run it back. We wanted to. It was not for lack of want. And you were working AAU stuff tonight, so
yeah, I'm in Fort Wayne, as you can tell. I'm not in my normal.
Neither am I.
Bland, dry setup. You don't have lockers behind you.
I don't.
We got other stuff going on. I did see Rayvon Griffith tonight.
Yeah, how was that?
18 points, 5 assists, and an absolute beatdown. They do running clock in AAU, or at least at some events. This one was running clock with 11 minutes to go in the second half, where the lead is so big, they're just let's get this thing. Let's get this thing moving. He was really good. Hit a couple tough pull-up jumpers, scored at the rim. Like I said, he's passing it really well with this new team, which I think is a great sign because it's a look at what he plays like with really talented players around him. As we talked about, he's got Reed Shepard, who's going to Kentucky on his team. He's got Gabe Cupps that's going to Indiana. They got a couple other mid-major type D1 guys that are on that team. So he's playing with a lot of really good options, and you're seeing and getting to visualize what he looks like with a lot of talent around him, which I think is a big positive.
In a game like that, does he go 100% the whole time, or does he hold himself for the rest of the weekend?
Well, the interesting thing is this is going to make my the decisions I make this weekend kind of interesting. Apparently, he's only staying through tomorrow mid-afternoon, and then he's getting home and getting ready for Sunday. So, I'm going to watch him tomorrow at 11:45. I think. I don't know if he has any more games that he's going to play after that. So,
all right.
There's some 15 and under and 16 and under stuff I need to watch. I'm going to watch Riley Burgess, Raleigh. He's a local big man in 2024.
Raleigh Fingers.
No. That he's like 6'9", he shoots it really well. Need to see, like, does he have that toughness and physicality that's going to be required as Cincinnati goes to the Big 12. But he's an interesting one. I saw him a couple weeks ago in the Adidas stop in Indy, but that was the game that I fell in love with Flory Badunga. So I didn't watch much Riley Burgess because I was watching Flory Badunga.
Because you liked it the way that his Badunga dunked?
Right. Yeah, sure. That. So, yeah, I saw that. What else did I? Oh, I got to look at Justin Powell, who's the 2024 shooter that I think is going to be going to Centerville next year. He can shoot it. The label shooter is apropos.
Shoot.
I don't know if there's a lot else to his game yet. But when you're in that 6'3", 6'4" range and you can heat it up for 40 as he did last weekend or the weekend before.
40?
Yeah. And he's playing up an age group.
40?
Yeah. As a 16-year-old playing against guys that are going to be seniors.
How many is that? How many of that was
40 spot?
How many of that was threes?
Most of it.
He's
got one of those, like, even when he misses, it's got a chance to, like, softly bounce up and, like, go back in. Like, even when he's off, the ball is very soft on the rim. There's not like,
it's forgiving. The rim's forgiving. He's got a kind touch.
What you don't see is a bunch of those, like, 17-foot rebounds off of his misses.
Clang.
Right. Where the other team's point guard is grabbing it and sprinting for a layup.
Yeah.
Because you almost broke the rim with your jump shot.
I don't know. Has he done shoot-arounds at UC? Because we've heard those rims.
I mean, his touch is impressive. So
all right.
He's definitely going to be a name to watch in 2024. I watched Xavier Booker for a little bit. Oh my God, that kid's good. I think he's probably going to end up at Michigan State. I don't think he plays on Mike Saunders Sr.'s AAU team. So
got a good relationship there.
Little tap up to Mike Sr.
Yeah.
They were up. It was funny. They were up. I think they were up 19-4 at the beginning of the game, and he was getting on the refs for something. And I was like, "Calm down, bro." And he didn't see me at that point. So he gave that snap of the head, like, who's talking to me like that? And then he was like, "Oh, it's you.
Come at me.
You.
Come at me, bro."
He gave me a big smile. I was like, "What's up, man?"
Meanwhile, you're arguing this kid again about Michael Jordan.
I didn't see his kid there tonight. I'm guessing they'll be there tomorrow. They play at 11:45. His team plays Rayvon.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
So that'll be a good one. I've got Riley Burgess at 10:30. Riley Burgess. I don't know. And then I got to shoot back over to the main gym to catch Midwest Basketball Club in Rayvon against the George Hill All-Stars led by Mike Saunders Sr. So I'm looking forward to it. Tomorrow will be a good day. I haven't decided, do I go through the day and then drive home tomorrow night, or do I go through the day, then come back to the hotel, get some rest, and then get up and drive home on Sunday? That's kind of the battle I'm dealing with. But
either way, we'll figure out a little bit more about that plan tomorrow night when we do this all over again.
I'll either be here at a fairly normal time, or it'll be from Independence, Kentucky, probably late. So I don't know. Are you going home tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll figure it out one way or the other.
Well, if we've learned anything today, I think the biggest takeaway from the draft for me is don't be afraid to compare Alec Pierce to those that don't look like Alec.
Exactly like him. I agree. That's it. We'll see you tomorrow. It's the Nightcap. Brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken. right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.